Today on XSarah Yoga, it is all about finding your inner warrior. So finding that inner strength so we can create alignment and bring ourselves more in focus to what really matters to us and living through that space right from the back of the heart, expanding from the inside out. So grab your mat and we'll get started, and we'll come and take a seat. Easy Sukhasana pose, or maybe come sit up on a pillow. Plant the sits bones down and start to lift up through the spine. And as you lift up through the spine, soften through the elbows, soften through the jaw. Let go of the back of the neck. See if you can let your breath begin to move up and down the spine. So what is it that you want to cultivate? What are those things that fill you up, that make your heart tick? And we do so many different things during the day, and they don't all necessarily line up with that deepest intention that we all have. And so starting to really cultivate this energy where we can live from a place where everything we do comes from the back of the heart, comes from that space of awareness and alignment and truth. And sometimes it really just takes some time, and that's why today we'll be holding some of these poses for a little bit longer than maybe we're used to holding them. Not only does it create some inner fire, some inner heat, but it helps for the bones and the muscles to find this alignment on a deeper level, to find these poses in a different way. Starting to shoot some of this energy around into different pockets in the body. So once again, feel the spine lift up, shoulder blades drop down, back of the head nice and long, let go of the jaw. Feel your breath soften into the belly, into the low back. Take one more of those nice big breaths in. And then exhale, let it go. Nice, so from here, we're gonna come straight into our downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Shavasana. So find on your mat, hands nice and wide, fingertips spread, take it up and back. And we'll hold this pose for a good solid 3 minutes. So at first, because this is the first pose we're taking, find some movement, pedal out the knees, maybe roll through the head and the neck. Feel the energy coming from the ground, through the palms, through the bottoms of the feet. And then we'll begin to find this alignment through the arms. The inner arms getting longer, like we're reaching, extending out from the back of the heart. Maybe bend the knees a little bit until the tailbone up and back. Finding a little bit of lift through the tops of the thighs as you press the fronts of your thighs up and back. Press deeper into the hands. And then feel the heart soften down towards the ground. More space right into the back of the kidneys, into the back of the heart. The legs are super active here. And then if you can, maybe bringing the ears in alignment with those forearms, so the head and the back of the neck is nice and long. And then start to breathe, pulling that energy in and out of the body, holding it here. And noticing what's going through the mind. Your reaction is to all of this. Stick with it.
Maybe start to press deeper into the hands. Feel that line of energy running down the length of the arms. Let go of the jaw. And then very nice, we'll start to walk the hands back to the feet and find forward fold. Feet hip width distance apart. Bend your knees softly, let go of the weight of the head. And let yourself hang out here. Release the head and the neck. Start to rock the weight towards the balls of the feet. Pick up your toes. And then feel the tops of the thighs press back and the sits bones split apart. Pelvis widening up and back. So creating more space into the pelvis, creating more energy flow, creating that alignment here. Maybe those heels pop off the ground just a hair, so if I had a piece of paper I could slide it underneath the heels, press the tops of the thighs back, maybe lengthen the legs a little bit deeper, extend through the left and the right side body, get nice and long. Heart is reaching forward and down, maybe sinking into this fold a little deeper, let go of the head and breathe here. With those toes lifted, feel the stretch in the back of the calves. Take one more breath in, and then exhale, set the toes down, bend the knees, and we'll rise all the way up to a stand. Start to, as you rise, lift all the way up with the heart. Tadasana pose. Set those feet right underneath your hips. Feel the pelvis line right above the knees. Open up through the heart. Spin the inner arms open. Feel that energy, that alignment. Spread the palms. Cultivating some really strong, motivated energy here today. So again, we're finding our inner warrior. So there's lots of strength, but where can you back off? I want you to work hard, but not ever harder than need be. So working just as hard to maybe find a result or to find something different. Breathe here, but never pushing past that edge. So you're the judge of that today. And take one more breath in here. Open up through the heart. Shoulder blades hug together. Navel pulls up and in. Lengthen through the back of the neck. Lean your head back in space. Take a breath in. And then exhale. Release. Hands come to the hips and we'll step into a nice wide-legged stance. Right toes will turn out, left toes in, and we'll make our way right into Virabhadrasana 2, Warrior 2 pose. Bend into that right knee. Back left toes pointed at a slight angle. Right knee comes down right over that right ankle. So really pushing it to that edge today, right? If you notice this is easy, you might try widening your stance a little and seeing if you can drop the hips down deeper. Feel that left hip kick back a little. Maybe even pick up the toes here to really press into the heel. Feel that back of your inner right thigh hug up and in, and then take your knee slightly towards pinky edge of that toe. But can you hug the inner arch of the foot down to the ground as well? So there's this energy moving up the inner shin. Take the arms out nice and long here. widen out. Lift up from the left and the right side body. Nice and even on both sides. So there's just as much weight in the back foot as there is in the front. Find some length through the crown of the head. Heart opening up. Spread the fingers. If you want, you can look towards the right fingertips and we'll hold here, breathing up and down the spine. And so there's going to be a little bit of, fidgeting, maybe some just slight movement of your body readjusting to this pose. But see if you can find the best of your ability, stillness. Not letting any of that extra energy, escape out. I remember in my training, we were not allowed to reach for our water bottles. Because sometimes we do these little habitual things as a distraction. Facebook. All the time that we spend in these moments, when if you had to write it down on paper and say what was most important to you, I'm sure Facebook would not be one of them. Staying here, a few more breaths. Shoulder blades hug together, roll open the heart. Lift up through the back of the head and the neck. And then on your exhale, release. Hands come to the hips. And we'll swivel it up and over and find this on the other side. Bend into that left knee. Right toes turn slightly at an angle. We'll sink this whole femur bone on the left leg down. But then you take your left sit bone and sort of hug it up and underneath you. Right hip hugs back. Plant the inner corner of the left foot. So really press down. Feel the energy moving up, and then take your knee out towards the edge. Arms come out. Your upper body is finding length here. Roll open through the heart. Nice wide fingertips. Energy moving through the body, moving that prana around in the body. So whatever is going on in the head here, take notice. But then check back in. Are you breathing? Shoulder blades tuck underneath the heart, pushing the heart forward. Left and right side body equally lifting up towards the sky. Power up that back right thigh. Equal weight in both feet. Maybe look to the left and breathe. And then on your inhale, we'll come all the way up. Turn both sets of toes in, finding a nice wide-legged forward fold, hands onto the hips. Navel hugs in, roll open through the heart, big open chest on your exhale. Soft little micro bend in the knees as you take it up and over. Hands could come down to the ground. Again, rock the weight towards the balls of the feet. Put a little bend in your knees. Tilt your pelvis up and back. Split the sit bones apart. Reach the heart forward. Find length. And then exhale, fold. See if maybe you can rock further onto the balls of the feet. Activate the legs by pressing the tops of your thighs back, really activating those quad muscles to get the stretch more into the hamstrings and the back. And then as you find that length, that extension out through the legs here, lifting out of the ground. Maybe start to reach left and right side body longer, softening the heart all the way down to the ground, letting go of the head. And then bend the knees a little bit. Lead with the heart. Back of the heart rising up, pushing that heart forward. We'll come all the way back up. Turn right toes out, left toes in. And we'll move into Virabhadrasana, side angle pose on the right side. So just like we're setting up for Virabhadrasana 2, we'll sink into that right knee. Power up the back leg, nice long extension through both of the sides of your waist. And then on your exhale, your choice, you can bring the forearm right down to your thigh. Or you can slide the hand down to a block, or maybe fingertips come all the way down to the ground for your side angle pose. I'm going to stay up here on with the forearm on the thigh because we're already challenging ourselves today in these holds. Press the left hip back, tuck the right sit bone underneath, and roll the entire right rib cage, right lung open towards the sky. Left hand reaches up, turn the inner arm up and over the ear, and then extend up and over. Breathing here. Let me sink a little deeper through that right femur bone. Roll open through the heart. So gaze can be up or you can just look straight out to the side. Everybody push your head back in space. All right, feel right sit bone underneath you. Roll that right rib cage open towards the sky. Pause here, breathe, breathe, breathe. And then we'll release and come all the way up. Switch sides. Right toes turn in, left knee comes out. Sink the hips down. Sukhasana on the left side. So setting yourself up here. Same deal. Lengthen through both sides of the body. Forearm maybe comes down to the thigh. You can bring the hands down. So it really just depends on what you need. Right arm sweeps up. Maybe sink down, lean the head back, find that extension, arm comes up and over the ear. And then when you're ready, inhale, whew, coming all the way up. Nice job, guys. Turn those toes in. Hands clasped behind your back this time. Inhale, roll open through the heart, taking one more forward fold, bending through the knees, reaching up and over. Letting the head drop all the way down. Same thing, activate the hamstrings. Activate the quads so you can open up the hamstrings. Lean towards the balls of the feet. Let the entire heart here get heavier. Take one more breath in and then exhale, release. Hands come to the ground. Inhale, leading with the heart, rise all the way up. So we'll find one more series of standing poses here. Finding our Trikonasana, right foot turns out, left toes turn in. This time we're gonna keep this leg nice and straight, right leg stays straight. And if you have a block, or maybe even a book, this is helpful to have a little bit of lift in this one. So grab that block, and we'll set the block behind the back of your right shin. So not right behind the ankle, but we'll move it back to behind the shin. Fingertips come up on the block. Roll open through the heart. and open through that left shoulder. Left arm comes all the way up. Always soft little micro bend in that front knee. Tuck the right sit bone underneath you. And then lean the head back. Breathing here. Work to turn the right rib cage towards the sky. But again, your head can always look to the side. All right, so from here, we're gonna launch into our our half moon pose. Well, I got really into that. Got really sucked into that pose. So we'll take our block. If you're using that block, walk it forward off to the right and launch up onto this right foot. Opening up the hip, stacking left hip on top of right. Half moon pose, flex the left toes back towards the face. Roll right hip underneath you, open up through the shoulders, long back of your neck. And then maybe take that left hand all the way up towards the sky. And breathing here. And stick with it. We're gonna hold this one as well. You got it. Right, you can always put a little bend in that right knee. You can always bring the left hand down to the hip. Nice, and then we'll release here. Step the left foot all the way back. Bring your block with you, rise up. And we'll switch it over to the other side, finding first Trikonasana on the left side. So left leg nice and long. Right toes turned at that angle. So just like our warrior two and our Virabhadrasana. Oh, can't remember my vocabulary today. So left hand either comes down to your block or to the ground behind that left shin. Tuck the left sit bone underneath you, roll open. Feel this whole left side rolling open. It's almost like you're trying to extend the left side body as long as that giant stretch on the right side body. Right hand comes up towards the sky. Shoulder blades together, and then lean the head back as you hug the navel up and in. And then from here, you did it. We're gonna launch into this left side, finding our half moon pose, right hand to the hip, coming up to balance on the left foot. Use the block, or you can use your hand on the ground. I like to use the block to find just a little bit more length and lift. So left hip stacks right above that left knee. Right hip right on top of the left hip. Flex the right toes towards the face. Navel hugs in. Shoulder blades hugging together, opening up the heart. Right hand reaches up towards the sky. So it's okay to fall here. Be okay with losing your balance. Right, we get the privilege of losing our balance. And keep coming back to it. And then we get stronger from the inside out. Remembering those things that are super important to you here. Breathe. You can stay here, or you can bring the right hand to the hip. Exhale, step that right foot all the way back, and we'll rise all the way up. Whew. A nice job. So let's come down, land on your hands and your knees. Just give your hips a little roll. Roll it out. You might rock forward and rock the hips from side to side here. And then we'll come right into our pigeon pose on the right side. Step the right foot forward. Walk the right foot over to the left. And sink down through the shin. Walk your left knee back. Hands come right underneath the shoulders here. You can untuck those back toes. Let the back toes point.
straight back. Flex your right toes towards your right knee. Scoop the tailbone down and lift up through the heart. Right hip drags back, left hip forward. Find length here. So opening up through the heart. All right, extending out from the back of the heart. Your back of the neck nice and long. Take a breath in. And then on your exhale, maybe lowering down to your palms, your forearms. And if you're on your forearms, you can use that block underneath the forehead. But still trying to cultivate left and right side body, reaching forward, right hip drawing back. So this is an active pose today. No sleeping pigeons. Awareness into the tailbone, the back of the heart, and the back of your throat chakra where your voice is. All these things super connected. And we're going to breathe and bring them all into alignment so we can find more of that true intention, motivation, cultivating through us. And when you're ready here, take your left knee and slide it back an inch or two. And feel a deeper stretch across that right hip. And breathe. And so this is all about just noticing what's going on in the body. You can very easily get swept away. Just the demands of life. Keeping busy, paying the bills. And then we'll start to come up here and take it right back into a downward facing dog. Press the hips up and back. And pause here, so let that energy move through the right hip. Align yourself up to the best of your ability and then find stillness. And then we'll come down and switch, finding our pigeon on the left side. So left foot steps forward. Left foot is going to walk all the way over to the right. Flex the toes towards the knee as you lower the knee down. Walk the right knee back. And then hug left hip back, right hip forward. Use the right knee and the left outer edge of your calf, your shin there, to lift out of the ground. Tailbone tucks underneath. Find extension through the heart. Deep breath in. And then exhale, extending through left and right side body. Start to come maybe down to the forearms. You can use that block if you've got one underneath the head. And then let it go, but there's still some activity, some arranged focus. And you're paying attention here, watching that breath, letting it fill these darker spaces and widen from the inside out. And then take that right knee, slide it back a couple of inches. Settle back to center. Maybe draw the left hip back. Sink it back down. And then when you're ready, we'll rise out of this side. Nice job, you did it. Ooh, strong holds on those pigeon poses, and we'll take it right back up into downward dog again.
find your alignment. Feet underneath the hips. In hip width distance apart, right? And then widen out from the back of the heart, and then pause. Find stillness. Ears in line with the arms. And take one more breath in. And we'll come all the way down to our hands and our knees. So, if you have that block, grab it. If you don't, you can find some books, some pillows. So we're gonna set ourselves up in a hero variation back bending pose, and we'll end here. So this is a great shift of the prana in the body because there's a lot of opening and joints being compressed and all sorts of good things. So I have compiled a really nice big stack of some theater books. And I'm gonna use this block as well. If you don't have a block, like I said, you can always grab more books, grab a pillow. So this one will come on a higher setting, up like so. And then these books will come right in front. So if I had 2 blocks, this is about the height of a block on the medium setting. So 1 block on that high setting. If you have another block on the medium setting, a little bit in front. And we can always move this guy around, so don't worry about it. So we're either gonna come and take a seat in front of these blocks or find that hero's pose variation. So what hero's pose variation looks like is knees together and ankles wider than the hips, and we'll start to sink the hips down and back in between the heels and the ankles. And then from here, finding your distance, but we're gonna line ourselves up so these books land right in between the shoulder blades, that tight spot that a lot of us have. So you have to move forward. Toes point straight back if you're in this hero's pose variation. And again, if this is just way too much, you can always just come take a seat, send the legs out straight in front of you, or your feet underneath the knees with the knees bent up towards the sky if you have any low back issues. So I can already feel that this is a little bit too far back, so I'm just gonna drag my setup a little bit forward. Yeah, that's about the right spot. And then coming back, using this high block right underneath the back of the head. And so really taking the time to find that sweet spot where you feel heart lifting up. Oh. So I can feel this way. This feels, it just depends. Some poses feel very uncomfortable, and some poses just feel like you're getting this great opening. They feel really good. This one feels really good to me. If it doesn't to you, that's okay. So we're ultimately finding a higher height behind the back of the head, and then still in elevation, but slightly lower behind the back of the heart. Those arms flopping out, inner arms towards the sky. And you can even sort of roll the shoulder blades underneath you. Wow, this still feels like it's too high. I'm gonna pull it down. Tuck the shoulder blades underneath you and roll open the inner arms. And ever so slightly, if your chin is way up here, you might want to tilt the chin down so the back of the neck is nice and long. And great big opening up into the front belly. So pausing here. And so I give you the liberty to stay here, to maybe pause the video. Stay here for as long as you like. Well, not as long as you like. I'd say max 4 minutes. But a minute would be perfect if you have the time. So stay as long as you like. But when you are ready to come out of it, if you're in that hero's pose variation, you'll do the best you can here to use your feet and the ground to start to roll up. And to come up out of it, you'll come forward. A lot of opening happening into the backs of the knees. Take our legs out. Shimmy our books or whatever you were using out of the way. And after that pose, just however long you stay in it, just take time to unfold yourself and land with your legs out nice and long. Oh, hi, Nala. Hello, hi. Are you coming to see me? And you can land in your traditional Shavasana. Just for a few moments, feel that blood flow rushing back into the knees, especially if you were in that hero's pose. And again, stay here in Shavasana for as long as you like. But I will sign off now as I have a little intruder here. Little fella. Okay, let's turn you around. And we'll end here. Stay there as long as you like. Thank you so much for joining me on XSarah Yoga. Hopefully this helped to find that inner warrior, that inner strength, to really be patient and to take the time to cultivate strength to follow that inner intuition. I'll see you next time. Namaste.